Riverview, Dieppe.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on April 17, 1982, after years of lengthy debate and strenuous negotiation, our country adopted a charter that would bring transcendent change to Canadian life. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms enjoys a very high level of support in Canada today. Canadians do not only agree with their charter, they cherish the protections it offers, and for good reason. They are morally sound, they are necessary, and they are a reflection of who we are as a people. The citizens of every country in the world hold their own constitution in high esteem. They are documents or traditions or customs embedded in history and tradition. Even every good conservative Republican wraps himself or herself in the American Constitution. It allowed William F. Buckley to express himself and for Sarah Palin to defend things like gun control or not. Only in Canada do we hear politicians criticizing the constitutional documents that have founded a country and made it flourish. 30 years ago, Mr. Speaker, we had an uneasy relationship with our constitutional past because Canada was in the process of superseding colonial links and affirming its own identity. It was time more than ever to part with some of our past links and bring back our Constitution, bring it to our own country. We wanted to demonstrate to ourselves and to others that we had grown up and that we were a strong country. We wanted to assert our convictions, our principles, everything that distinguishes us as Canadians, and we wanted to declare those principles to the world. We Canadians appreciate the Charter because of its protections and the rights that it provides, but Canadians also cherish the Charter because it is a reflection of who we are as a people. The Charter of Rights, Mr. Speaker, embodies the character of the Canadian people. The Charter inspires us and appeals to the best of us as Canadians.
Unfortunately, we have a government that has a tendency to discredit this Charter of Rights and Freedoms. But this Charter is so Canadian that we are given to think that this government doesn't like Canada very much. The principles of democracy, of equality, of freedom, and of the protection of minorities does not seem to have a great deal of importance in the eyes of the Conservatives. They perhaps would like to try and find a way to not be subject to this legislation. I know that the Prime Minister said during a trip abroad that he was the law. But I think the time has come to remind him that he is not the king. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms existed 20 years before this government and will exist 20 years after this government will be gone. In this country, there are rules that apply to everyone, even if you do not agree, and even if you are the government.